Hello, everyone. The time is now 1 o'clock, so we will be starting today's session. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for our portal question and answer session. My name is Michael Guerrero, and I'm a pension analyst with Employer Services, and I will be the moderator for today's webinar. I will now hand it over to Sandy to begin today's session.
Thank you, Michael. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our third training session on the portals. My name is Sandy Cook, and I'm the manager of Employer Services. Bill Hurley, team lead of Employer Services, will be joining me as we address questions we have received on the portals. Also joining us today to assist with your questions and concerns are Jack Shamikinovsky, who is a pension analyst with Quality Assurance, and Angela Goodchild, who is the VP of Service Delivery. We will start by reviewing the portal timelines. Then we will provide a brief overview of the purpose of the portals. We will review some of the common questions and concerns we've heard from employers on the employer and member portals and share some feedback we've received. We would like this session to be interactive, so please ask us any questions or provide us with any comments and/or suggestions that you may have during the live Q&A session. Let's review the portal timelines. We are very excited that the employer portal went live on January 4th. Many of you have signed in and have started processing transactions already. As of January 27th, 187 unique users have logged into the portal. 29 employers have started using the portal to submit their transactions, and 213 transactions have been submitted so far. Training has been provided for the enrollment, termination, and retirement processes. Today is our Q&A session. On February 4th, we'll be holding a training session on the change of employment information process. Here is the timeline for the member portal. The member portal went live on Monday, January 25th. We are taking a phased approach with the members gaining access over a 4-week period, and this week we rolled it out to you first. Most of you should have received your registration package in the mail. Next week, we will roll the portal out to another group of members. Your employer PA will advise you when your members will have access to the portal and will send you a sample email that we would like you to send to your members to let them know that this valuable tool is going to be available to them. We will send another communication to members in March, encouraging them to elect to have their statement provided to them on the member portal instead of through the mail. I will now pass it over to Bill.
Thanks, Andy, and good afternoon, everyone. So let's look at why we are offering these tools to our employers and members. Each year, we receive lots of comments from our members from the annual survey asking for an easier way to access their pension information. Employers have also expressed the same interest. The purpose of the portals is to provide self-service tools to keep in line with expectations from stakeholders when managing their pension. The portals will streamline the interaction between CAT, employers, and members, and it'll introduce another channel to educate and notify stakeholders about the plan. These tools will also bring us in line with services that other pension plans offer their members. The portals will be key to the plan in getting to its desired state, which is to transform from paper-based administration to electronic administration. Current processes require the member and employer to collect information and authorization with paper forms. The portals will provide employers and members the option to provide information electronically rather than using paper forms. The goal of electronic administration is to streamline the reporting and notification process between all stakeholders and minimize the back and forth communication between members, employers, and the plan. The portals are live, but are developing, and we will have more functionality as we release future phases. We value any feedback and suggestions you have that will make the portal experience better for you and your members. So now let's review some questions and concerns we received from you on the employer portal, otherwise known as the Pension Administration link, or PAL. The first question is, do I have to use the portal? Will the portal replace paper forms? We encourage you to use the portal, but we also understand that processing transactions using the portal may not work with your current administration processes. You can submit paper forms via SDoc while you assess the portal and adapt your processes so that you can use the portal. As I mentioned earlier, we will have more functionality as we roll out releases of the portal. As the portal develops, you can assess if they work for you and with your administration systems and processes. Our goal is to make the administration easier for you and reduce the paperwork involved. Paper forms are available in the employer manual if you choose to use them. Again, we appreciate any comments and feedback on how the employer portal can work with you and your teams. The next question is regarding the two-step authentication to access the portal. You have asked if there are other ways to receive the access code rather than providing a personal cell phone number, as you may not have a work cell phone or a direct line to receive a text message or phone call with the access code. We understand the concerns raised with the current process, as many of you have extensions to your phone numbers or do not have a work-issued cell phone to receive the code. We will be providing alternatives to receiving the access code in a future release, and we will advise you of these alternatives and when they will be available. Another comment and concern we received was that the portal is not providing correct dates or is not working correctly when entering information. If you are having some issues with the portal, like incorrect dates or incorrect data ranges, it may be the browser that you're using to access the portal. Please avoid using Internet Explorer to access the portal. The portal is configured to work with the current browser technology, which are Firefox, Google Chrome, and Microsoft Edge. If you use these browsers to access the portal, you will not have issues with dates or other functionality within the portal.
Let's review some of the questions we've received on the enrollment process. We've received questions wanting to know if you use the portal for enrollments, if you still need to have the member sign the form. If you enroll a member using the employer portal, the submission is considered an authorized enrollment with the plan. CAT does not require a signed enrollment form if the enrollment is processed using the portal. Another common question that has been asked is if you can still use the paper form if you want to have a form signed by the member. Yes, the paper enrollment form is still available in the employer manual. If you want to continue to use the paper enrollment form, please submit it to us using SDoc. And remember, you only have to do one or the other. Submit the paper form using SDoc or submit using the portal. Another question we received was, are we required to keep a copy of the enrollment form? CAT does not require that you keep a copy of the enrollment form. You should refer to your own record-keeping policies and practices to determine if you need to keep a copy of the form. The portal provides you with the ability to print a copy of the enrollment form with the tracking ID for your records. We have received questions around the collection and submission of marital status, spouse, and beneficiary data with the enrollment. One of the questions is, do we need to collect and provide the marital status, spouse, and beneficiary data? Providing this information is optional. You can provide this information if you've received this information from your member. If you do not have this information, you can still submit the enrollment to the plan in the portal. Employers are still compliant with the plan's data requirements if they use the portal and fill in the mandatory data. We understand that some of you collect this information for benefit plans and like to provide this to the plan. This is fine, but again, it's optional and will not delay an enrollment if it's not provided. This is consistent with any paper form enrollments we receive that is missing this information. The plan still processes the enrollment for the member and provides them with a form to update this information with us with their welcome package. The other concern we heard was how will we know if or when the member has provided or updated their marital status, spouse, and beneficiary information to the plan. The member has sole responsibility to provide this information to the plan. Members can provide this information to you upon enrollment, or they can provide it directly to us. Members can update this information with us through the portal or by using the paper form. These updates are not shared with employers. This practice is consistent with other pension plans and adheres to our privacy policy to protect members' data. This is consistent with the current paper process as the plan receives updates to this information directly from members, and these are not shared. You will be able to see marital status, spouse, and beneficiary information on the member's annual statement. When the member updates their information, the portal will remind members to also update their information with their employer. Another comment we received was that the current portal process does not work with your current process for onboarding and enrolling members. If you find that using the enrollment process in the portal does not currently work with your administration systems or processes, you can still enroll members using the paper form and send it to us by SDoc. In a future phase, members will have the ability to start the enrollment process and assign it to you to complete your part and send to the plan. Once this functionality is in place, you can evaluate your processes again and see how the portals can work to make the enrollments more efficient for you and for your members. If you have a significant amount of enrollments, you can submit these to us in a batch load file. This is something that we're going to be making available in the very near future. We encourage you to talk to your pension analyst and provide any feedback and suggestions that can make this process work for you.
So now let's look at some of the questions that we received on the retirement and termination processes. We received some questions around the smart forms and the portal's functionality. Questions like, does the portal have the same functionality as the smart form? The answer is the portal does not have the same functionality as the smart forms, but we will be adding the functionality to the portal so that it will calculate the service, contributions, and pension adjustments based on the earnings period and earnings entered into the portal. This will be available in an upcoming release. We received some questions on accessing and printing termination and retirements in the portal. Questions like, how long do the transactions remain on the portal, and can I print forms for these transactions after I have sent them to the plan using the portal? So transactions will remain on the portal indefinitely while the member is active, and you can access any transactions that have been sent to the plan at a later date and print the form. All you need to do is click on the transaction in the transaction sent to CAT section, or you can access the transaction in the member's profile. You also asked about how you can complete part of the process and then assign or save so another person, either on your team or with another department, can review and or complete another section of the process. So the portal was designed for collaboration with your teams. So there are a couple ways you can share the completion of any of the processes available on the portal. When you start a process, you can complete any of the sections of that process that you need to complete. You will then need to scroll down and you can either assign the process to someone by choosing a name from the dropdown, or just save the process without assigning. With either choice, the transaction will now be saved in the Transactions in Process section. The next person who needs to review and or complete the form or process can now access the transaction by clicking on it, and this will open it, and then they can complete their portion of the transaction and then validate and send to the plan. Or if it needs to go to someone for review, it can just be saved for that person to validate and send to the plan. In the future, when you assign any transactions, a notification will be sent to the person advising them that a transaction has been assigned.
We will now review questions we've received on the member portal. We've received a few questions and concerns from you on the issue of members updating their spouse and beneficiary information with the plan, and not being able to access these updates, especially with regards to processing any pre-retirement deaths. We understand the sensitivity with pre-retirement death benefits and employers wanting to ensure that they contact the appropriate people when completing the death benefit application form. As these scenarios are low in number, around 40 to 50 per year, employers can contact their employer pension analyst to confirm the information we have on file. If there are any discrepancies, we will handle these on a case-by-case basis and work with you to determine who should be contacted. The members already are providing us updates directly to the plan. The member portal will provide members with an easier way for them to update their personal information with the plan by eliminating the paper form. Remember that you'll be able to review this information on the annual statements. We also received questions on the updating of member addresses with the plan. This process of how members update their address will change as a result of the new employer and member portal. Before the portal, you provided the addresses for active members. Now that we have the portals, the members will up their address directly with us. With this change of responsibility, employers asked how they will know when a member has updated their address with the plan and how they can tell the plan has the most current address. You'll be able to see the address for a member on the employer portal as part of the member data that is shown. You can confirm if the address is the same or if an update may be required. We will be adding the effective date of the address to the portal in a future release. If you are sending a transaction to the plan, you can update the address with the submission of the transaction. Again, the member is responsible to ensure we have an up-to-date address so they receive communications from the plan. We understand that this is a significant change and that the transition of this responsibility will get easier as members use the member portal. 2020 will be a transition period while members start using the portal. We will still require the monthly member data file, but we'll review this requirement later this year.
So we wanted to share some of the feedback we received from you. Here is some of the feedback we have received.
So thank you for attending and participating in today's Q&A session. As previously indicated, the portals are being rolled out in phases. We'll be providing further updates through future releases and phases. We really appreciate hearing from you and understand your concerns. We will continue to reach out to you for your feedback, and we will initiate for future discussions. Please reach out to your employer PA if you need any assistance or have any questions and feedback on the portals. Have a great afternoon, everybody.